Alright, hey everybody, welcome to HawkTalk. I'm Trey Peters.
And I'm Joseph Ray.
Today we have Coach Gardner back with us. We're going to be talking about, some football stuff again. So, we had a pretty, big week 2 coming up right here. JV played their, first game?
Yep, JV
this
played,
Monday?
Yep, JV played the first game Monday night against Slocum. Tough battle. We got beat 12-8 in a tough ball game. Guys played really hard, just didn't make all the plays that we needed to come out with a win, but it was definitely a growing step and a step in the right direction for a bunch of those young guys to finally get some live action. So it was a good Monday night.
All right. We got Friday night. We got HA. So, what you think we need to work on really?
HA's a big one. Really, because it's the next one, but also it's the first region ball game. We talk about it all the time. Week 11 is what we're planning for. So week 11 is the first round of playoffs. And so last week against Goshen, that doesn't have any determining factor on playoffs for us, but this week does. So it's a big one this week against HA. Got to clean up a lot of mental mistakes and some things like that to make sure that we're ready for some of the things that they do. But guys have been good. Morale's been good. So we're going to do everything we can to be ready for Friday.
All right. So who are some up-and-coming JV football players that, they're kind of, I know we lost, but some of them had to be showing out some.
We got some guys that made some really big plays in the JV game. Defensively, Jarvell Jackson, he probably had 20 tackles Friday or Monday night. He played really good. Offensively, Ty McKeeshan playing a little slot receiver. Owen Packard out there playing receiver, made some good catches, some good runs. Corey Thomas playing running back. Ruben Garcia and Cam McDonald both split times at quarterback and played good. So we definitely have some bright futures ahead of some of these younger guys coming up. So it'll be fun to watch them.
Okay.
All right. Leading rusher. Who do you think? Who had the most, rushing
in the JV game?
Yeah, JV.
It's probably Ty. It's been a close one between Ty McKeeshan ripped off some longer ones and Ruben ripped off some longer ones. So I would say the two of them don't have the official stats, but those two probably led the team in rushing.
Yeah. All right. So you said tackling was Jarvell.
Yeah, Jarvell was all over the place. He's a little monster on Monday night. Made a bunch of plays, so it was fun to watch him.
So there is a return of JV cheer.
Yep, JV cheer led by Coach Sanders out of the middle school. It was great having them there. It's the first time we've had JV cheerleading in the 3 years I've been here. It's great to have the support. We had a few more parents out there because the cheerleaders were there. They did a great job, so it's fun to have them back out there for some home games.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any JV players playing varsity?
Yeah, there's a couple. Like Ruben plays some on varsity on Friday nights. AJ Page plays some on Friday nights. Other than that, that's about the only two that play some significant snaps on Friday night, but also play on Mondays.
All right. So, what has this week been like in practice?
Well, yesterday was tough because of the rain coming in, kind of threw us off our schedule a little bit. It took us a little bit to get into practice. But other than that, the end of practice was pretty good yesterday. HA does some different things on offense and defense that makes you have to change a little bit of what you're doing to make sure that we get it handled. So mentally, we've got to make sure that we stay sharp enough to understand that. We got pretty good yesterday afternoon of understanding what our jobs and responsibilities are. So we're going to hammer that in again today and make sure that we're feeling good for the end of the week.
All right. What do we really need to prepare for going into week 2?
Mentally, we just got to get mentally better. We made too many mistakes on offense the other night of kind of shooting ourselves in the foot with some penalties, some drop balls, different things like that. Defensively, we just got tackled. We saw a guy last week that was really good. This week, we've got to make sure that HA does some different things where they get in a lot of different formations. They move a lot of different motions and everything. So we've got to be mentally locked in, understanding when they move, we've got to move, and where we've got to move to. So this week is more of a mental week of making sure you understand, so then on Friday night you can play faster. So that's kind of what we're dealing with right now.
So what does the typical week look like for a player on your team?
Yeah, typical week for us is Saturday and Sunday after a Friday night ball game. They kind of heal up. Coaches are in Saturday morning. We've got film and breakdown all Saturday morning. We do it again Sunday afternoon. We roll back in Monday, normal day of school. Kids will come down their 7th period. and we start watching film 7th period. We'll watch all the offense 7th period. We'll watch all the defense right after school, and then we're on the field doing our corrections and installs.
Okay.
Tuesday's our big work day, where it's a lot of good-on-good reps, trying to get as many scrimmage reps in as we can. Wednesday we'll be in shells, which is just shoulder pads and shorts. We'll do all of our special teams. We'll clean up all the rest of our team stuff, making sure we make the corrections for Tuesday. Thursday is a 7th period walkthrough, and then Friday we play the game.
All right.
So that's a pretty typical week for us.
All right. On last week's game, who were the captains and why did you choose them?
The captains were the seniors. So we had Marion Pinckney, number 8, number 66, Corey Culver, number 15, Kevin Curry, and number 56, Zerby Scott. So it was 4 of them. 4 of the seniors were out. Oh, and it was 5 of them. 74, TJ Wilder. I choose those guys because, I mean, they're the backbone of our team right now. We'll go as far as that senior leadership will take us. The seniors kind of got the team rallied up yesterday when we were kind of having a little sluggish time, and they kind of snapped us out of it a little bit. We came back out and had a pretty good end of practice, and it was partly because those seniors stepped up in a leadership role. So that's why those guys are out there as our captains.
Okay. So, first and second quarter, what were those looking like?
First and second quarter,
Yeah,
what were we looking like?
Yeah.
Not good.
Well,
No, I'm just sorry. First and second quarter, we just couldn't get enough stops on defense to kind of keep us in it. They kind of kept us at bay, kind of a 2-3 score game. We'd score to make it a 2-score game, and they kind of scored to make it a 3-score game again. So we got it a little bit tighter in the third quarter, started playing a little bit better, got a few more stops. But early in that first and second quarter, we just didn't get enough stops on defense to give us a chance to move the football.
yeah.
All right. All right. So I know last week we played Goshen, right? And
Yep.
what kept us from tackling? Number one.
He's really good.
Yeah.
He's really good. I knew he was going to be good. He was better than what we really expected. He's a little bit bigger now as a senior. I mean, you don't have Ole Miss offers and South Alabama offers and Vanderbilt and all the other SEC schools and without being really good.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, he's earned that. I mean, he's a 10, 500-meter dash guy. He'll be the fastest guy we see all year. Matching that with him being 5'11", 195 pounds and moving that fast, I mean, that's what a Saturday football player looks like in a big-time school. So we will definitely see him in the future, watching him on some Saturdays. I'm glad we don't have to see him again because he's a good football player. So, I mean, kudos to him. He made some big-time plays on Friday night.
Yeah. So, he's going to be playing at South Alabama, right?
Yep, he's committed to South Alabama right now.
Yeah. I feel like he could. I mean, South Alabama's a real good school. He could
Yep.
probably, hit SECs.
Yeah, he's got some SEC offers, but their coach said that in the recruiting process, he felt like he wanted to go somewhere that he could play immediately.
Yeah.
So he liked it at South, and South's a good one, and they're getting a good football player. So
Yeah.
I hope it all works out for
We'll
him.
definitely be watching him on ESPN.
Yep,
Hope
hope it works out for
Yeah.
him.
All right. All right. How could we work on fumbling?
Yeah, we had early turnover that kind of derailed a drive early in the ball game. I mean, the only thing is just making sure that ball security. I mean, as a football player, the ball is your life, right? I mean, that is the whole purpose of the game is who can control the football and who can score. And when they take it away from you, you're losing. So we got to make sure that the ball security is high and tight and that we take care of it. And that's things that have been addressed and are addressed all the time. It's just got to be a little bit sharper on Friday nights.
And I know we need to work on some tackling.
Yep.
For sure. And that kid, I mean, I wouldn't be able to block him if I was a football player.
Yeah, he makes it tough. He makes you look like the tackling's not very good because of how good he is. But tackling is an effort play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to be willing to throw your body in there to stop another guy for your guys on your team. And we got guys that do that. So I expect the tackling to be much better this week.
All right. How was the offense in the first quarter?
Good. I mean, look, the offense is an overall. Amarion Pinckney's up for WTVY Player of the Week for a reason. And, I mean, he combined for 289 total yards. I think it was 20 carries for 211 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. So it's not like we didn't move the ball. We just kind of did some things at certain times that derailed us from really scoring more and more. And those are things that we told on Monday when we were watching film. It's like, guys, we're not telling you something that you can't do. It's all mentally stuff. It's all stuff that's correctable. It's hard to do it when the bullets start flying on a Friday night sometimes. So it's just stuff that we got to keep mentally locking into so we can get better on it.
Yeah. So, what were some big plays that were happening in the first half?
Yeah, big plays in the first half. I mean, early, Omarion hits a quarterback counter for about 35 or 40 yards. We throw Seattle, which is our little stick concept, and Omarion rolls out and he hits Javion right on the numbers, and he spins and takes one about 25 or 30 yards. Anthony ripped off a run or two. So we did have some big plays in the first half. And then right there before halftime, I think Omarion had 3 straight plays of like 3 straight runs of 20 plus. So it wasn't that we didn't have explosive plays and we don't have that possibility. We just got to be a little bit more consistent with it.
Yeah.
All right. How did you feel like in the half? Going back in the locker room and just talking about getting upset. How did you?
Yeah, halftime was a little fiery. Not gonna lie. I didn't want our guys to, because it was a 3-score. We had scored to make it a 3-score game at half. I didn't want us to lay down. You know what I mean? Coming out of the halftime and everything, and we did not. And so that was good to see. We fought and we fought and we fought, which is all that we can ask for. We did make a few halftime adjustments defensively that helped us out a little bit. But the main thing was just making sure that we played with the effort we needed to in the second half, and the guys responded and did that.
Yeah. So what were some turning points after halftime that started to look up for us?
Yeah, well, there's one turning point that did look up for us is we had them stopped on 3rd and long, and we've stayed in punt safe, and they faked the punt to the big running back, and we've got him stopped, and we don't tackle him, and he gets a first down by a yard. So, I mean, it's stuff like that we've got to have that's got to turn in our favor. But late in the fourth quarter, I mean, they pin us back on the 3-yard line, and Omarion breaks one out, gets a first down, gets another big chunk play to get us off of it. So, us to make it feel like we were really having a chance to get back in it.
And we were definitely looking better in the second half.
Yep. So that was fun to see. I mean, we just got to keep getting better, and that'll build into this week.
All right. All right. How did you keep the team pushing through to the end? Like, how did you help them continue?
Look, I mean, I can holler and scream and fuss all I want to, but it comes down to whether you really want to or not. And we got a bunch of guys in that locker room that have been through the fire a lot, and they want to. And so the fight and the effort is not as much of an issue as it's been in the past, which is nice. Now we can focus on correcting some of the simple mental mistakes matched with the effort, and that's when the wins start rolling in.
Yeah.
So the effort's there, and you're going to see it again on Friday night. Our guys don't back down from anybody, and so it'll be fun to watch them play on Friday.
Yeah. And so we were playing McClure this week, and you said he's going to be one of the fastest people we play all year. So you think that us playing him this early will help us, get better with some of still like really good running backs and all that with tackling,
We just saw the best 2 running backs we'll see all year in the first 2 weeks. The guy from Geneva County, Brendan Hall, and Jamar McClure from Goshen are the best 2 we'll see all year. So early in the year, I mean, it does. Looking at some of the guys coming up, they're going to be some good running backs, but they're going to look like they're in slow motion compared to what we just saw on Friday night, which does help. You know what I mean? It does help to see those guys early, so we'll be ready for it.
It's good.
How did you keep them playing hard and just pushing? Just keep going.
You stay in their ear, make sure that they understand what they're fighting for. It's not just for themselves, it's for everybody up there in the stands and their brothers standing on the sideline. And when they buy into that, which they have, it makes it a little bit easier to fight through some tough stuff on Friday nights.
Mm-hmm. So, rushing yards, who had the most rushing yards for us?
Omarion. 20 carries for 229 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's a 10-plus yard per carry average. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that is good.
What about passing?
Omarion was like 12 for 22 for 78 yards. I think Carrington had the most catches. Caden had a few catches. Javion had a few catches. We spread it around pretty good. Marcus had a few catches. So we threw it around pretty good. We missed a couple deep balls that could have helped us big early, which hopefully we'll hit that this week. So we'll get it all fixed.
Yeah. So, what about sacks?
I don't know if we had a sack Friday. We had a couple tackles for loss, but I don't know if we had a sack Friday night.
We definitely work on that.
Absolutely. We'll get after the HA's quarterback will throw it this week, so we'll have a chance to get after him a little bit.
They were more of a running team.
Yeah, we'll have to get after him Friday night.
We got fumbles and picks.
Ooh, I don't think we had a pick. I don't think we caused a turnover this week, which is an issue. We caused a couple against Geneva County, which helps us, but yeah, we got to call some this week so we can steal a few possessions away from them. That makes a big difference in the game.
Yeah. So we need to work on tackling
Yep.
and just mindset.
That's right.
So we have any injured players?
A couple guys banged up, but nothing. I mean, Anthony's got a little ankle. Aragon's got a knee. Nothing that should keep anybody from playing on Friday, so we should be okay.
Yeah. Good.
Who's inspiring like everybody on the team, keeping them up? Like one of the players. I know
The seniors, yeah. Marion's pretty vocal. Zakori's pretty vocal. Those two guys have been here for a long time. They've been in the program for a long time, and so they've earned that right to kind of be those vocal guys, and they do a good job staying positive, making sure they're not beating guys down, making sure you're building them up.
Yeah.
I mean, leadership is 80% encouragement, 20% enforcement. And so, I mean, they do a good job of that. So those two guys are probably our vocal leaders of the team.
So we're playing Houston Academy. So what's the scout report for Houston Academy?
They're good. They lost a bunch from last year's team, but they're still good. Spread it around pretty good. Make you mentally have to think, making sure you get lined up to a lot of formations. But we feel good about Friday. And if we can clean up some of the middle mistakes, our athletes will be able to make plays Friday night.
Yeah.
What are some strengths that we had that we're looking forward to using this game on Friday?
Hopefully get Amarion in the open field. He's pretty good with the ball in his hands. Javion is good with the ball in his hands. Marcus is good with the ball in his hands. HA is going to play us a lot of press man coverage, so hopefully we can spin it out to some of those guys out there in the open field, and we get to go make a play. And so that's what we're looking for Friday.
So last week's meal, you said it was
The Methodist Church.
Methodist. So who is this week?
This week we're actually doing it with Guthrie's out of Daleville.
Oh.
So Guthrie's is doing everybody a big old chicken box and whatever. So we got Guthrie's doing our pregame meal this week.
All right.
So the time, place, tickets are still the same?
Yep, everything's still the same. Been good. $7. Parking's still the same. Home game again. So here we go.
All right. Well, the cheerleaders theme this week is Rewind the Raiders.
That little 1990s, 2000 retro. So it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Congrats to the class who won the Spirit Stick last week.
Yeah, I think it was the
10th grade?
Yeah, sophomores did a pretty good job. Pep rally was loud. They were cheering, so that was fun to see that.
And then we have the pep rally this week is at 2:30.
Yep.
Closed to the public. If there's any people watching that. That's all we have. We're gonna end with a joke again.
Let's hear it.
So, Coach, there's 2 pickles in a jar, and one of them falls out. The other one that's still in the jar, he says, "What's your deal, bro?" Go Warhawks.
Go Warhawks.
Go Warhawks.